Not one single high-end product in this video to get to this look. Like seriously, this is all drugstore. All drugstore. Hi friends, welcome to today's video. I'm gonna share with you some of my favorite products from the drugstore. Listen, I'm a high-end girly. I love some high-end makeup and there's some really great products out there. But I also have to be honest and admit that the drugstore does have some phenomenal products, formulas that just honestly blew me away. I started going into more drugstore brands about a year ago, and I started doing the one brands for each of the brands. So if you haven't seen those, I have tons of them available for you. Just completely diving into a brand and trying everything out and doing a full face look. And I have found some really spectacular products through that process. And now today my collection is a lot of drugstore and also a lot of high-end, but more drugstore now than ever before. And I honestly feel like looking down at everything that I'm going to share with you, they are phenomenal products, incredible formulas that I think everybody should try. If you are a drugstore makeup lover, then this video is for you. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. Let's talk about the brow products. I start off first doing the laminating technique. So I put a really strong hold brow gel, any sort of laminating type of product. And I have found that the best one from the drugstore is the Maybelline Super Lock. And it is called Super Lock for a reason, because it does truly lock down the brows. So I take this product and I actually comb it through my brows, and I actually back comb to lift all the hairs off of my skin so that every single hair is coated with this product. And then I go in and I start combing it through to lay them down as I want them. So laminating them down against the skin so that they stay in place. And trust me, this before or after is going to keep your brows in place. They will not move. I have brows that kind of want to do their own thing. They never really follow the rules, if you know what I mean. And this keeps them in check every single time. So I start with that. I also do let that sit and dry for a little bit before going in with my next brow products. Now I'm going to show you two different brands, but they do essentially the same exact thing. They're brow pens. And I started using brow pens years ago to spot fill, but I've been using brow pens to fill in entirely. So I will show you how that looks. I have two that I like. The NYX Lift and Snatch was the first brow pen that I started off with the brow pen journey, and this has been wonderful. I switched to the shade called Ash Brown. I used to use, I believe it was dark brown or just the brunette shade, and that one runs really dark. So the Ash Brown is a little bit lighter, slightly more cool tone. Same thing with the Maybelline Build-A-Brow. This is what my packaging looks like. It's rubbed off quite a bit. This is also in the shade called Ash Brown. They both do the same thing. They look like a liquid liner on one end where it has the pigment in the formula. The only difference is the Maybelline comes with a clear, yes it is clear, mine looks pretty disgusting, but it is a bit of a gel. It doesn't have a strong hold. It's nowhere near as strong as the Super Lock or other brands or other products on the market, but it gives you that, so it helps you kind of groom them either before or after if you choose to, and it's a nice addition to it. But both of them are great formulas for brow pens, and that is all I've done off camera. I love a good full coverage look. I love a good full face of makeup, full glam, but I also like to scale it back and strip it down and do something a little bit lighter, a little bit more kind of skin-like. And out of all the foundations that I own in my entire collection, both high-end and drugstore, this is the one that I have on repeat. I constantly keep coming back to it. It's a skin tint, but it has coverage like foundation, but it looks so skin-like. And it is the True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum from L'Oreal. Yes, you've heard about this. You may even use it, love it, or maybe you even dislike it, but let me tell you, this is beautiful. The coverage, the look, the feel, the wear, it is so beautiful on the skin. And even though it's not a full coverage product, it is slightly buildable. I find that this is probably one of the better formulated foundation products that I own. And I've tried lots over the years of doing YouTube, creating content, even off camera, trying all brands and all price points. There's something really great about this, the way this sits on the skin. Now, I do like to use primer. Now, the glow that you're seeing on my skin is from skincare, and let me tell you, I've started Korean skincare and it's completely blown me away. We'll talk in a separate video about all those products, but that's the glow, and I've had my skincare on for a couple of hours, so I kind of want to knock down this glow first. And the primer that I typically reach for, that I absolutely love, that I think everyone should try, even if you don't have a ton of concern with larger pores, but you want to smooth out the skin, the surface of your skin, maybe make it a little softer if you have a little bit of texture, or you just want something to kind of smooth everything out before foundation, let me put you on to the Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Primer from Milani. This is a very well-loved product in my collection. I have used half of this already. It comes with a little spatula, which is great for dispensing the product, taking out a little bit. You can put your fingers in there if you want to. I don't like doing that because I don't like getting my hands all gooped up. So I love that they've included a little spatula. So all you gotta do is just kind of scoop some out. A little size like that, about maybe close to a pea size, a little bigger between a grain of rice and a pea size, if that gives you some sort of frame of reference as to how much you really need. If you have larger pores like I do, you may want to use a little bit more closer to the pea size amount. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of this just to knock down some of that shine and kind of smooth the skin out. But honestly, with the changes in my skincare routine, my skin feels incredibly soft. Probably the softest it's ever felt. Stay tuned. We will talk skincare in another video. So I'm gonna take this, and I like to use this with my fingers and apply it so that the warmth of my fingers kind of melts down this product. This is great for all skin types. And you can see just the difference of applying that primer over my skincare products, how it just kind of took down that glowiness, and it gave me a more slightly satiny kind of vibe. Not completely matte, but more of a satin finish. It is a beautifully done primer. Absolutely. Now let's go ahead and go back into that tinted serum from L'Oreal. This, like I said, it's one of my most reached for products. So I'm going to use a brush. I'm going to start by first kind of dispensing and distributing everything that I took out. And I did not squeeze a full dropper onto my brush, just a little bit. And I'm going to use a thin amount, start with thin, work my way up if I need more, to just even things out. And it just glides so beautifully over that Milani primer, or even just directly over my skincare and sunscreen. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. One of the best complexion products, hands down, at the drugstore. We're gonna move into some bronzer. I've been doing my steps in a different order, so I'm gonna just do that with you today. I'm gonna go into my favorite cream bronzer that I think everyone should own and try. I don't care if you love high-end and you only use high-end. When you try this formula, you'll see why. It's the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer. I wear the shade called Hey Honey. It's perfect for more fair skin like myself. The formula is to die for. It's creamy, it's pigmented, it blends, it goes over powders and liquids without skipping, dragging. It's absolutely stunning. I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Dual Complexion Brush, and I'm gonna pick up the product. I'm just gonna kind of load it up, okay? Just get in there, load up the product, and then I'm just gonna go in and distribute that onto both sides of my face, and I'm gonna go over the nose. Notice how I did not rub this into my hand as I usually do, or knock it off onto a paper towel or napkin. Loaded up my brush, went straight in. Why? Because this formula doesn't need to be kind of wiped off. You don't have to take the excess off. It never looks heavy. It never looks too much. It's not too pigmented. It's just right in every aspect. The blend, the pigmentation, the color, the undertone, everything is just right. You gotta trust me on this. If you have not experienced the Milani Cheek Kiss bronzers, what are you waiting for? This is your sign. I have been into liquid blushes a lot lately, and often I find myself reaching for them first to do a layering technique, and I just absolutely adore the L'Oreal liquid blushes. If you have not experienced this formula, again, what are you waiting for? This is, again, top tier. This is top shelf. This is in my top 5 favorite blushes of all time, this formula. Lots of different colors, dewy versions, and then ones with a bit more glow. Equally as good are my liquid blushes from Maybelline, the Sunkisser range. So what I've been doing lately is actually mixing shades. I've talked about this before. I've even shared it over on TikTok. I like taking a darker, deeper shade or something really bright, kind of more fluorescent neon type of color, because they did come out with some matte versions that are very bright, and adding something softer, lighter to kind of tone it down. And I'm gonna take this, and you can, again, add as much or as little as you want. I'm gonna just take one kind of swipe like that and just kind of get all of that off of the applicator. And then you just kind of mix using your hand as a palette. You're going to transform this really dark, bright, kind of more grape purple shade, and you're going to make your own shade. And it's going to be different every time. If you do a full swipe of product or just a dot of each, more of one, more of the lighter shade, less of the dark, whatever it is that you do, it's going to be a perfect custom shade just for you. So play around with your products, switch it up, do something different. So I'm working that into the brush, same dual complexion brush. I actually don't know where I have my other one. I usually have 2, one for bronzers and contours and one for blush, but I'm using the same one today. and it's going to be perfectly fine. So let me show you. When you start kind of tapping this in, that looks beautiful. You have a hint of glow because this light shade has a sheen to it, but it doesn't look as scary, right? When you have something so bright and bold, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. This is stunning. Beautiful, wearable. It's so good. And the formula blends like a dream. Same as the L'Oreal. Before going to the next steps, I want to put you on to one of the best lip balms that you can buy at the drugstore. It's from the brand called Naturium, and it's a skincare-based brand. You can now purchase these in-store at Target. They were exclusively online, but now they're at Target and also in Ulta stores and Ulta online. So the Fido lip balms are beautiful. They're 10 bucks. They come in a bunch of different colors, a clear one to some shimmer shades to bright colors, more pastels, some warm tones, some nude shades. They have it all. The formula is really, really good. I would say this is probably the closest at the drugstore that you can get to the Summer Fridays lip balms. Those are wonderful, but they run you, I want to say, right around 25 bucks for just one. So you can get two for less than one of those high-end ones, and they are incredible. I love this formula. I like this hot pink one, which is called Hibiscus. It's a sheer hot pink. As you can see, my tube is looking quite flat compared to this one that's a little bit more full. Little plastic applicator. It's not a spongy or kind of flexible applicator. It's a hard plastic, and it just glides on. This is perfect to prep your lips before you put your lip products on. Do it at the start of your routine. The clear one is great for using after your skincare routine, morning and night. They have a little bit of tint, easy on the go. If you're a busy mom like me, I have 4 kids, this is something that I will reach for throughout the day just to put it on. I could do this without having a mirror. With my eyes closed, I can put these on. The tint of these are a little bit more on the sheer side, but they're great. So I wanted to kind of plug this in. I will share with you some more lip products, of course, towards the end of the video, but let's go ahead and prep these lips and get them nice and hydrated for the lip combo that's coming up very soon. Now from here, I want to go into concealer. I have one concealer that is my absolute go-to. It's my ride or die from the drugstore. It's the L'Oreal Infallible. It's a full coverage concealer. I love this. But I've also recently been getting into this CoverGirl concealer. This is the Trublend Undercover. I've had this in my collection for about a year now. And I just started using it again after doing the one brand on this brand. And I did not realize how wonderful this formula is. It's been sitting in there, a gem in my collection, and has not been used. So these two are the best ones at the drugstore. They're both going to give you that full coverage, but you can also scale that back based off of how much you apply. So if you like more medium coverage, use a little less. When you want full coverage or need it, you already have it kind of built into this type of concealer formula. Now, I want to plug in a brightener for those who are interested in a brightener. This is actually one of the better brighteners that I've used. Again, at the drugstore or even high-end. It's the Catrice Under Eye Brightener, the Instant Awake. Comes in a little glass jar like that. It looks very similar to the Becca one. It looks similar to a lot of other brands that create a brightener. This has a little bit of a kind of peachy, pinky type of tone, depending on the one that you purchase. Mine is going to be a little bit more pink because it is the light rose shade. So I want to use a little bit of this. You could go in with your fingers. I'm going to just do that today. Go in with a brush, whichever method you prefer. You just take a little bit, and you really just kind of focus this corrector right where you need it. So right in through here, and then right out here for me because I have a little bit of discoloration. So right now I'm just focused on placement of product, not necessarily trying to blend this out just yet. So if you have a concealer that you love that isn't quite full coverage and maybe you need a little extra for the day, maybe you didn't sleep well, maybe you're under a lot of stress, maybe you didn't drink enough water, everything shows on the under eye area and it's okay. It's called life. Get something like this and you will be okay. You can use your fingers to blend this corrector out. You can use a damp sponge, but I'm going to use a brush. And I've been using a lot of these new Morphe brushes. So this one is the M135. It's actually a concealer brush and it's perfect. It's got an angle to it, so it fits perfectly right up against the skin. So what I'm going to do is tap and retain that corrector right in through here. I'm not really focused on this area because I'm going to put concealer and blend that over. But I just want to kind of prep this before going in with my concealer for today. And you know what? Let's go ahead and just use this CoverGirl concealer so I can show you how great this is. The shade that I have is number L600 Light Nude. And it's the one with the black and white cap. So when you're looking at the CoverGirl section at your local drugstore, it's the black and white cap. So I'm going to just do a dot here and here, and then a little dot out here. So I'm gonna take that same brush and I'm just gonna focus this concealer right in through here. Just kind of patting right over that corrector. And then with what's left on the brush, go underneath and then bringing this and creating that lift on the outer part of the eye. Take a little bit over the lids as well. For the under eyes, need I say more? This L'Oreal Infallible Blur Fection powder is absolutely incredible. I recently went to Target and did a shop with me over on TikTok, and the display with the pink color was almost completely gone. Some of these lighter shades were also sold out. There was one left of the setting spray. People are catching on to how wonderful this powder is, okay? This is what the packaging looks like. Love. I use the translucent light all over the face if I'm going to use a setting powder that's loose to set my face. I use the light pink shade, which is called number 10 Pink Light. This for under the eyes, again, to create that brightness and also to set. This is probably the most filter-like powder at the drugstore that's ever existed, okay? Nothing comes close to this, of course, in my opinion. This is incredible. If you have not tried these, you absolutely need, okay? I'm going to switch tools and I'm going to use a powder puff. I'm going to use one from Sonia Cash. It comes in a double pack, a gray and a black one for right around $5 at Target. So when you're picking up this powder, you might as well pick some of these up. So I'm going to just pick some of this pink powder. I usually dump it into the cap, or you can just dip directly into it, just like so, and just kind of press right over the top of the concealer. And I'm going to do one side to show you that before and after. I'm going to take a little bit more. I usually don't do this with the pink shade, but since I'm already here, I might as well show you. I'm going to take a little bit of that and kind of knock off a little bit of it and go right through here. And typically, like I said, if I'm going to do anything on the face, it's going to be the translucent light. But you know what? It's fine. The pink one is going to be okay because it's like brightening, but it's not too pink. So this side is the side that we just set with that light pink color. Do you see how it kind of blurred and just meshed the concealer into the foundation, into that blush, and it looks just completely flawless? Here we don't have any setting powder on, and I honestly could skip it. Don't really need it. But I also like to set my under eyes, so I always go with a little bit here. But in this area here, there's no powder. There's no powder up here. There's no powder down here yet. Do you see? This is set and not. It is like applying a filter, but in a powder form. It is stunning. It looks beautiful. It never looks heavy, never looks dry. If you get really close to your face into a mirror, you will not see a layer of thick powder. You will not see dryness. You will not see cakiness. It never looks bad as the day progresses. It will stay looking absolutely beautiful. I want to add a little bit of a powder bronzer just to kind of help set down that cream from Milani and add a little bit more powder to the skin. And I'm going to go with my absolute favorite bronzer formula at the drugstore. And again, it's one of those brands that is just solid and dependable, L'Oreal. The Infallible Pressed Bronzer is beautiful. I have the shade number 250 Light. I broke my lid. Guys, what is going on here? I almost cried that day because I couldn't believe I did that. So this is actually a very, very well done powder. The formula is buttery, it's smooth, it's pigmented, it's blendable, but the powder has a smoothness and a creamy feel to it. Even though it's a powder, it feels so expensive, and it really isn't. It's very affordable, easily accessible. You can walk into any drugstore and you will find this product. So I like to use a big fluffy brush. This is one from the Ulta Beauty collection. It's a double-ended brush. Take the big side and just kind of dip the brush into that. And I also like to kind of knock off a little bit because I don't want a ton of product or powder. And I'm going to just go right over the entire face just to add a little bit more. I've used this on its own without doing the layering technique with creams underneath, and it's equally as beautiful. I love this formula. Let's talk highlighters. Some of us still like and love using highlighters. Some of us never skip it. And those of us sometimes use it and then sometimes we don't. And I'm one of those people. Sometimes I will use a highlighter and love the way it looks, and then I will stop using it. But when I do, I always come back to these formulas because they're just that great. So the first one is going to be somewhat of a kind of multi-use product that can be used underneath foundation. You can mix it into a foundation. You can use it alone. You can use it on top as a highlighter. And it's the L'Oreal Lumi Glotions. It comes in several different shades. I have the shade medium because I want a little bit of a tint to the skin. So if I do use this, I typically use it as a base before applying my foundation. I've also mixed this into foundations, and you can essentially do whatever you want. I've even put this all over my body to add a little bit of color, a little bit of glow, a nice sheen, but it's not a sheen or a glow that looks glittery or too sparkly. It's not big pieces where you see it. It just kind of becomes one with the skin on your face or on your body. So I love this. Multi-purpose, so I wanted to include that. I love a good stick highlighter, and this formula from L'Oreal is divine. It's the Lumi highlighter sticks. There's two formulas, the Lay Glow and the Lay Glass. So the Lay Glow is a classic cream stick formula, but the Lay Glass is going to give you that glass-like finish, very emollient, very greasy. It's going to give you that glazed donut effect. So both of these are beautiful, and I actually do like that glass formula. Even though I didn't before, it's actually really pretty. And I think I like it because the formula is so well done. It's spectacular. I love using these, and I love the glow that it gives and how easy it is to apply with your fingers. It glides and blends right over every single product that's applied underneath. So I love that formula. And then for some powder formulas, in case you don't like creams or liquids, the Baked highlighter formula from Milani is really, really nice. It's a formula that actually can be built up a little bit for just like a hint of glow, but you can also build it if you want a little bit more of a blinding glow. So the Baked highlighter in Dolce Perla is stunning. These baked formulas are very interesting and different because they start off as creams and they're actually baked like you're baking a batch of cookies, and that's what makes it so creamy and blendable. It makes it so it blends into the skin. It becomes one with the skin, so it doesn't actually sit weird on top of the skin. It kind of melts right in. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, try the baked formula from Milani and you will not be disappointed. It is soft, it's smooth, but it has that beautiful sparkle and glow. There's no glitter in it. It's just really, really beautiful. When you blend this out, do you see that? It just makes the skin look better. It just does. I love that. Now let's say you want some glow, but maybe something like this is just a little too much. Maybe you don't like the creams. Maybe you don't want that glass look. So let me put you on to a new powder that's fairly new on the market from this brand. And honestly, this brand is making a comeback, and I'm here for it. It's the Morphe powder, the Cloud Light powder. This one is the Soft Glow Veil, and the shade that I own is called Dawn. Now this can be used as a final step to set everything like a finishing powder. You can use this a little bit lightly under the eyes to set your concealer if you want something with a bit of a luminous finish, but you can also use this as a highlighter. This powder, no joke, is the closest to the Hourglass ambient powders that you're ever gonna find at the drugstore. At the current moment, this is the closest that you will get. So if you want an Hourglass look without the Hourglass price, this is your girl. You need this one. So I'm gonna go back to that dual brush that I used from the Ulta collection. That's the 144. And I'm gonna take that Morphe powder and I'm gonna use a little bit of that just on the tops. And then I'm gonna take it across the forehead as well. So on tops of the cheekbones. And just kind of, you know what? I'm just gonna put this all over. Why not? Because the glow is just gonna make your skin look healthy. Like you've been doing your skincare routine, you've been drinking your water, taking your vitamins, sleeping well, eating well, without the glow and the disco ball, the shimmer, the glitter particles. I'm here for it. I'm telling you, they're making a comeback and I love it. But let me show you the baked one from Milani, because I've used these before in previous videos. You've seen me use the Glotion plenty of times. So let's show this one some love and let me show you how beautiful this is. I've got a brush with the product on there and let me just show you. Look at this. Look at the glow and the shine. You don't have to spend a lot of money to look fabulous. You really don't. A little bit down the bridge of the nose, the tip of the nose, take a little bit on the finger, and go onto the Cupid's bow. Yes, I am here for it, and this is beautiful as a brow highlight. You can even use this all over the lids for a quick sheen across the lids to add a little bit of something. Throw on some mascara, call it a day. I'm telling you, I feel that a lot of people are just sleeping on this. Like, come on, let's wake up. Let's go ahead and create an eye look for today. I want to keep things pretty simple and just very easy, something that you can easily follow along with at home. I wanted to share with you some single eyeshadows and also some palettes. I'm integrating two different forms for everyone to find something that they're interested in. Not everyone likes palettes. Some people only like singles because it's just easier. You don't really have to think about it. It's just one color and you're done. Some people like palettes. Some people like to have options and varieties to switch it up day to day. I like having both options, honestly, because I'm always extra. I like having my singles, but I also really like having palettes because I like to change things up and have everything just kind of laid out for me in a palette form. So let's start off with the palettes. The two palettes from the drugstore that I think are something that everyone should try are from Colourpop and Morphe. So the first one is the 1111 palette from Colourpop. This has all the basics that you need, and I like how thin and compact the palette is and the packaging. It's beautiful, but the inside is stunning. You have some mattes and you have some shimmers. You have some that have a little bit more intensity with the shimmers, but the mattes are in the shades that you need for it to be a more grounded look. Some nice kind of gradient colors that are a little bit lighter, and they're going into some deeper tones, so you have some options for crease work, for eyeliner. The formula of these is, like I said, top notch. It's why I'm including it in today's video. I think if you have not tried this palette from Colourpop, you should. They do have mega palettes, and some people love those. For me, it's hit or miss. Some shades are really great and some are not. The reason why I'm sharing this one is because every single shade is a hit, okay? There's nothing that is a dud or doesn't blend well out of this palette. That is why it's my top palette pick from the drugstore. Now, we talked about Morphe making a comeback, and I'm gonna plug this into this video because these palettes are actually very good, and I don't hear anybody talking about these. So these are the Morphe palettes that look like this. This one specifically is called Going Platinum. They have some warmer tones. They have some that are kind of more spring-like, that with some pinky tones and some purpley vibes that are fairly new. But this one is a cool tone palette, so it's quite different from the 1111 palette. And I wanted to plug this in because this palette completely blew me away. The first time I used it, I was not ready for it. This shade right here, let me just swatch this for you. It is liquid metal. It's dynamite. Absolutely stunning. Now, I don't wear silvers because that is intense, but if you like silver, you need this palette. My favorite shade is called Moneymaker, and it's got the sparkle. I'm in my glitter era. I'm here for it. It's not going anywhere anytime soon, but it has some kind of like a bronzy brown, but then the sparkle in that is out of this world. It's kind of, think of like the Urban Decay Moon Dust formula. That is very similar to what you're getting in this one, but the shades, they all look beautiful, okay? Now, for singles, I can't do this video without talking about some of my favorite singles. Now, these are a little bit higher in price point, but they are very similar in price point to some other things. So like L'Oreal, for example, they're a little bit higher up there in their price points. So worth it, every single penny. So these are going to be right around that L'Oreal price point. So the first brand is the Half Magic brand for their single eyeshadows. So it comes in a little pouch like this that is recyclable. I actually keep mine in these because I don't have those big magnetic palettes that you can pop these into. That's the idea. It kind of has that makeup artist in mind where you can take these out and create your own custom palette. These will run you around $13 full price. Now, when Ulta does their sales, it'll be less. When they do site-wide sales on Half Magic and you get a discount, it's even cheaper. This shade, though, is called Wet Pebble, okay? It is smooth. It feels creamy, buttery. It's absolutely divine. Do you see? Let me just swatch it here. Do you see the intensity of that color? Get out, right? 13 bucks. That's drugstore price point. Even though it's not a drugstore brand, there's no gatekeeping. I gotta share this stuff with you guys because this is actually very, very good. Now, you're probably sick of me talking about single shadows because you already know what I'm gonna say. The Kiko water shadows, okay? If you have not tried these, this is your sign to add to cart. These were an immediate add to cart. I fell in love with one shade specifically, and I just couldn't even believe it. I couldn't believe that it took me so long to try it. It took me so long to find this brand, but I'm going to save you some time. I'm gonna put you onto this brand ASAP. This is what the old packaging looks like, and then they've revamped and changed the packaging. They actually sent me over several of the water shadows. So now my collection of water shadows is bigger and larger than it was before. So I'm very thankful. Could not have gotten that opportunity without you watching. So thank you as well for being here because I get the opportunity to get free stuff. Okay, let's talk. The shade 200, that is my girl, my jam. It's my everything. It is truly If I can get it open. I cut my nails, so I don't have any long nails anymore. Let me use my tweezers. Shade 200. Look at that. You're welcome. This is going to be your new favorite. This is going to be your new best friend. You can use them wet or dry. I always use mine dry, and I can't imagine using these wet. It's going to be like liquid metal onto the eyes. Kind of like that Morphe swatch that I showed you. It's like that. So it has a little divot there that you can easily put your finger and rest that right in there and pick up some of this product. This shade, let me just show you. It is the perfect everyday shade that everyone needs. It's not too dark. It's not too light. It's the perfect tone that is very complementary to all undertones and eye colors. It is kind of bronzy, has a little bit of a rose gold kind of vibe to it, but a little bit more bronze. Not as dark and not as much brown as the Wet Pebble from Half Magic. But when you use a little bit, you get just a sheer wash, right? But when you build this up, it intensifies. When you dampen your brush and pick up the product, it's incredible. That's the shade that I've been using the absolute most. They do have other shades, some deeper shades, some silvers. They have some like berry tones. This shade number 201 is a little softer and lighter, so it kind of scales back that metallic finish, equally as creamy and beautiful. So if you don't want anything super intense, 201 is a great shade, and it's a nice kind of nude, goes with anything. You don't really have to try too hard, and it's one of those shades that you can use and pair with any eyeliner or skip eyeliner and just throw on some mascara. It gives you a little wash, kind of like a pearl finish that is so smooth, so soft, so buttery, and it never settles, never makes your eyes look dry, crepey, never settles into the fine lines of the eyes. I just love this formula. If you have not gathered that, you're welcome. We're going to keep things simple. I'm going to go to that 1111 palette from Colourpop, and I'm going to mix two shades. This like soft, light pinky shade here with this shade here that's a little bit lighter, a little bit more muted, and a little bit more cool tone. I'm going to use that on a fluffy crease brush. And I'm going to use those two shades mixed together to create some shape and dimension to my eye. I'm following the natural shape of my eye, just sweeping it back and forth. Same two shades, same brush, and I'm going to sweep that underneath the lower lashes. For the lids, I'm going to go into that single shadow from Half Magic in the shade called Wet Pebble, which is that really dark kind of bronzy brown shade. I'm going to use my ring finger. Do you see the intensity? I'm telling you, this color, this pigmentation is out of this world. I'm going to start by tapping from inner corner to outer corner. I'm going to now take a brush to help kind of blend the inner corner where I can't reach with my finger, and also to blend those edges out. So I'm going to use the first brush I grabbed. It's a 203 from BK Beauty, and I'm going to use that clean with nothing on it, and I'm going to just blend right in this inner corner here. And then I'm going to use that same brush to blend and bring that color into the crease shades that I already applied. I'm now going to go back into that first crease brush with nothing additional on it, and I'm going to use that to help me blend a little bit more. With a detail brush, I'm going to take that same Wet Pebble and I'm going to run that on the lower lashes from outer corner to inner corner just a little bit to add a little bit more of this shade. Now I'm going to do a little bit of eyeliner mascara. My favorite liquid liner formula at the drugstore is the NYX Epic Ink liners. Take your pick. They've got different shades. They even have new shades that are a little bit different. Some that have more sparkle to it, but the classic milk chocolate is my go-to. It's a nice rich dark brown. It's not too brown, not too warm, but it's also not too dark where it looks black. It is just right. So I'm going to do a thin line, just following the natural shape of my eye, really close to the base of my lashes. And then for mascara, I'm going to use the Revlon Color Save Full-Time Mascara. This is hands down the best mascara Revlon has ever made, which is why I have to include it in today's video because it's quite noteworthy. This is the best one. I've never liked their formulas for mascaras, never really gotten along with them, but this, something very different than what I've tried from them in the past, and it's incredible. So I'm going to do 2 coats on the top and 1 coat at the bottom. While the mascara dries, let's go ahead and talk about some lip products. There's so much at the drugstore that is wonderful. I have 2 lip liners from 2 different brands that are actually my lips but better type of shades. I think everyone needs to have a shade like that in your collection. I don't care if you do a no makeup look, a kind of middle of the road, or full glam every day. Having a shade that matches closely to your lip color is going to be like a gem in your collection. So for me, the 2 shades that I like to use is the Worth It shade from the L'Oreal lip liners. These are the automatic twist up ones. This is the Color Riche line. It's the anti-feathering lip liner. And then the Maybelline lifter liners. These came out last year, and they're incredible. The shade Line Leader, if I can talk, I'm getting so excited. Line Leader is my go-to shade, My Lips But Better. So both of these are absolutely incredible. You cannot go wrong with either of these formulas. Just pick a shade that kind of matches your lips, or choose a shade that you are into from either of these formulas. It's the best at the drugstore. I used the Line Leader shade from Maybelline to line my lips, and I kind of did overline just a little bit just because I was in the mood to. And again, it goes back to having a shade that matches closely. If you got really close, you're probably not going to be able to see where the liner is and the tone of my lips. They're almost identical. So I love having a shade like that in my collection. Now for lipsticks, if you like a good lipstick, I love the Revlon Super Lustrous lipsticks. I think that they have an incredible range. And they're so affordable. It's a classic. It's a staple. When people think of drugstore, they probably do think of those classic brands. And Revlon, that lipstick is a classic. It's old school, but it's so, so good. But another good brand is also a lipstick from e.l.f. And these are the Satin Lipsticks. I think that they still have this shade available. It's called Dirty Talk. And this is my most reach for lipstick from e.l.f. I like the packaging. It's that smooth matte finish with a magnetic closure. This feels so much more luxurious than what they charge. It's $9 for a lipstick. Again, readily available at most drugstores. The shade Dirty Talk, again, is very similar to Line Leader. It's kind of like My Lips But Better type of shade. So let me do a swatch so you can see how creamy and pigmented this formula is. It's just as good, if not better, than high-end lipsticks. Like, it's just as creamy, as pigmented, and as beautiful, and it goes on like a dream. So let me show you what this looks like over Line Leader. Tell me that this lip combo does not look expensive. It does, but it's not. It's not gonna break the bank. $9 lipstick, probably close to 9-ish for the lip liner, less than 20 bucks. And you got yourself a perfect lip combo. This color combination goes with anything. If you wanna top it with a gloss or a lip oil, don't worry, I got you. Okay, where do I begin? Let's talk e.l.f. since we were just talking about the e.l.f. lipstick. This lip oil, if you have not tried this, again, get a little pen and paper and make yourself a shopping list and get you some of these. This is the best lip oil formula at the drugstore. Hands down, my favorite. I have every single shade. Now, I know I said that that's the best lip oil, but if you want a plumping lip oil, L'Oreal, let me tell you, I love so much. The Plump Ambition plumping lip oils are phenomenal. I love. The shade Worth It is my go-to, my everyday almost. I've used, you can see it. Look, I've been using this product, wearing it down. It is incredible. It's cooling, it's tingling, but it actually plumps and you can tell and feel the difference without it hurting. At least to me, it doesn't feel painful whatsoever. The shine, the way it fills in the lips, just the plumping formula, nothing comes close to this. Nothing is better than this at the drugstore. This is where it's at. Even high end. Why spend high end money when you could just get some of those? Like, seriously? You need those as well. Now, the next product is hands down the most unique product at the drugstore. It's the Lip IVs from NYX. It is a lipstick, it's a gloss, it's a lip oil, it's a lip stain, all in one. It is perfect. It feels like a drink of water, hydration, it's moisture, it's thin but slightly thicker at the same time. Very confusing, I know. But you just gotta trust me, this formula is like nothing else out there. Since I already have the lip liner and lipstick on, I won't demo this. What I'm gonna do is just top this product that I already have, this combination with the plumping lip oils from L'Oreal. The shade Worth It is gonna be the perfect pairing to this lipstick Dirty Talk from e.l.f. So let me show you. It's like identical. It's like that lipstick color, but in a plumping gloss. I love these. And the applicator is really cool. It's a custom applicator. Very nice. I love this formula. So good. And it feels so good on the lips. It fills in the lips. They look fuller. They look a little bit juicier, pouty. It doesn't look dry. No crusty lips here. No crusty lips, because that's not allowed. Okay? Look how beautiful that looks. So I hope that this was very helpful for you to see these products in action. I do also want to plug in one last thing. The setting spray. Not everyone likes it, but for those of you who are looking for something that is like locking down the makeup, that will not budge, not go anywhere, stays on, transfer proof, waterproof, the L'Oreal 3-second setting spray. That's what you need. Yep, that is exactly what you need. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks for being here, for watching. This was so much fun for me because these products are phenomenal. And I just love sitting down and using these products every single day. I don't get tired of these products. They're formulas that I think everyone should try. If you love makeup, you need to try. Whether you're just strictly drugstore or you're high-end, these are incredible formulas that you have to try. And there's something for everyone in this video. So I hope that this full in-depth video, start to finish, was helpful. It's your guide at the drugstore, so the next time you go there, you remember some of these. It's going to be listed and linked for you in the description box. Thanks for watching and spending some of your day here with me. Take care, you guys, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.